Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is gonna be my good old classic submission for, uh, you know, build for the week, where we have here a Doom Guy build. Well, Doom Slayer build, depending on your preference. Don't worry, I saw a flash in the pan of what this build is. Um, I initially was going to make an EDP build, but, yeah, I don't know if that would be quite, I don't know what would happen to me if I did that. So instead, I went with Doom Guy here. Now, Prismatic makes the fashion look like complete dog shit. But this is how the actual fashion looks. It looks much better in game. I decided to go with a Doom Guy that, so let's switch to Arc here for, as you can see, it's way better lighting. I went with Doom Dark Ages kind of vibe. You know, if we want to put a story to this, I would say that the bones on his chest piece are relics from demons that he's killed. So that's the look I decided to go for. It's quite different. It is abysmally difficult to make the exotic class item work. And for reasons I'll get to in a second, this is the most restrictive build that I've given myself. Because Rocket Chest Piece doesn't exactly quite do it for me either necessarily, so. Now, let's go back to Prismatic. So let's go over here and we can see. Let's take a look at our weapons first. Weapons I am using. So I wonder if y'all can just figure out, you know, Blood Feud, First in Last Out, and Gallahorn. Blood Feud, First and Last Out, and Gallahorn. You know, BFG. That was the stipulations that I set for myself. My kinetic weapon had to start with the letter B. My energy slot had to start with the letter F, so Blood Feud, First and Last Out, and my heavy slot had to start with a G, Gallahorn. I almost kind of twisted the rule a little bit by letting me access Falling Guillotine for a sword. However, that means I would have to vanish in it, unfortunately. And by the way, unless you try to do this for yourselves, it is ridiculously difficult to find weapons that lie under certain letters. For example, for the whole EDP thing, right? I could not every single special weapon that starts with the letter E is solar except for a void sniper. At least that I have. Which is kind of ironic, but yeah, this is the setup I kind of came up with. So, and on Blood Feud here, you need a stasis weapon here. This is just not negotiable. But I have Encore for the range, stability, and accuracy, and Wellspring just to generate those abilities, you know. Uh, then for my shotgun, First and Last Out, with auto-loading holster, vorpal weapon, classic. I have backup mag on the SMG, and I have quick access link on the shotgun to whip it out faster. And then of course Gallahorn with the catalyst done, all of that good stuff. Now for armor, don't worry about your resistances, just keep your resilience and recover at tier 9. My discipline is extremely high, however there is not much I can do about that. Strength doesn't really matter here necessarily either. Neither does your intellect. Now we have Harmonic Siphon here because we're using hammers as our super. If there was a different rocket launcher to have started with a G, I would be using something different. And we're just going to hope that the buffed hammers is substantial, because hammers suck without... hammers are pretty bad without Sol Invictus. I really do think Hammer Soul should have Sol Invictus baked into it, but I have Heavy Ammo Finder and Scout. Do you need Scout? No, but is it helpful? Yes. Of which, by the way, I actually might do some changing here if I have enough energy. Actually, I do. So here's what we are going to do here. Bam. We're going to give ourselves Twilight Arsenal, because it is decent. It is decent. It's probably, in my opinion, it's probably one of the highest damaging... It's probably the highest damaging super without an exotic for Titan. Because Stasis, you need. And I mean, you desperate... for Thunder Crash, you need Cuirass. You just do. For Blade Fairy, it lasts a little longer. For Stasis, you need a specific fragment, and you need You need Syntheseps to make it work properly. But yeah, we're just going to roll with Axis here. We're generating orbs with solar. It'll make sense in a second, but this is kind of our setup. Also, we're not going to bother with the loader. I'm sorry, I'm making last minute decisions. I apologize. But yeah, so for our arms, these two are feeding into each other. Our grenade doesn't necessarily kill, so it's kind of a wonky sort of situation, but this is mostly before Transcendent, because our Transcendent grenade can kill, however, in higher end content, it's really bad at killing. Heavy-handed. Heavy-handed actually does work with Consecration, if you do the slam down. So Consecration, if you don't know, is a two-part powered melee sort of deal. So you slide, you do an uppercut, then you slam down. You can generate orbs with heavy-handed when you do a slam down. I don't remember whether or not it works with just an uppercut. Now, exotic class item. We are using Inmost and Contact. This, to me, is the best exotic perk combination. Inmost lets you regenerate those abilities super fast. Keep in mind, the thing that is different, because keep in mind, a lot of people think that the cooldown is shortened. It's not. It has almost the same cooldown as regular Heart of Inmost Light. Heart of Inmost Light ups your damage, though. Your ability damage is increased as well. However, Spirit of Inmost does not increase your damage. It only increases the cool. It only reduces the cooldown, right? Contact is extremely strong. Personally, for most builds, I would prefer using Shield Throw, but you only get one charge, so we're using Blade Fury. But it does work with Consecration, especially on lower end activities. You do not need to do the slam. You just uppercut, that's it. Upper, that's it. You don't need to do the slam down. And for those beefier enemies, what I'll kind of be showing here in a bit is when you do the uppercut, you jolt them. When you do the slam down, you not only cause that ignition to happen, but you also make that jolt go off, doing even more damage. Very strong. And of course, we have Powerful Attraction because we're using Thruster and Time Dilation to keep our Solar Weapon Surge active. Now, our main weapon is surprisingly going to be Gjallarhorn. We're kind of going to be using Gjallarhorn as sort of a primary weapon-ish? Ish. Now, for our good old subclass, also we ironically have Anti-Barrier Champion, but for Artifact here, first column shit doesn't fucking matter. But this kind of depends on what you want to do here. I don't, you don't need Transference, honestly, but I have Shield Crush here, which is very good. Shield Crush is very good. We will be having a bunch of debuffs active. We will get amplified, but it's not going to be reliable, so that's something to keep in mind. So obviously we're going to be getting that. Then casting our super is going to give everybody a damage buff. We are not using Expanding Abyss because we are not using a Void Weapon. And for Hegemony, feeding weakened targets, this one isn't actually that great. We want actually Creeping Chill here, because we are using a Stasis Grenade, and don't worry, we will be getting into that. And picking up an orb, we do want to get Radiant. It's going to be hard for us to actually get ignited, so just keep that in mind. And we have Solar Fulmination for those solar ignitions to do increased damage and an increased radius. So that helps that out a little bit. The Tangle one's useless, but most of these are generally useless, so let's get into the subclass here. Alright, what's the idea of the build here? So, Thruster, I use High Lift, and Thruster, I just do. The Frenzy Blade is specifically to feed into Consecration. Glacier Grenade. Normally, I don't use this fucking grenade. We're not relying on grenade kills, though. We just aren't. This grenade is because in Doom Eternal, you have the Ice Bomb, right? And while we're using Consecration, you have the Flame Belch, right? So we have that Flame Belch Ice Bomb going on. Don't worry, there's a lot more. And again, we do have Twilight Arsenal here, which is an axe. I was originally going to use a sword, but hey, you have the Crucible Sword, you have the Sentinel Hammer. Why not an axe? I definitely feel like this fits in theme. If there would have been more Void weapons to fit my naming conventions, I definitely would have used Doomfang Pauldrons, because the shield in Doom Dark Ages, we already see we have a shield. But unfortunately, it just doesn't fit my naming, it doesn't fit the naming conventions, and that just sucks, unfortunately. But that fits, and we have Knockout here, just in case an enemy gets close, we can get that quick health regen, and again, we can get amplified super easily. and obviously we have Consecration. Now, for our actual little fragments of stuff, most of these are strictly for pluses. Void Breaches are not going to be helping us out. Facet of Balance is going to be helping us out a little bit. So rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Consecration is going to be super helpful here. The Darkness one doesn't matter. Facet of Ruin, you actually still want this on even with that aspect because it's going to increase the size and damage of our Stasis Crystal, which is going to help out our Glacial Grenade and all of that good stuff. Facet of Sacrifice, mostly for the discipline, but when we have a light damage buff, we get bonus Dark Descendant Transcendent Energy. This one's going to be the most difficult for especially Titans to get in general. Honestly, Titan Darkness abilities suck garbage. So, and then here we have our abilities deal damage, increase damage to enemies afflicted by darkness debuffs. The only ones we can actually inflict are Sever and freezing or whatever. But will it be inflicting that most of the time? Absolutely not. So, I think it's about time we go ahead and showcase this build in a couple of spots. Of course, we're going to go to Ye Old Faithful. I actually, we won't do that one. We won't. We'll go to the Pale Heart. Ooh, that's quite a. Also, Bungie. Side note: can y'all like? This is a lot of shit just on the fucking map. But we're gonna go into a Lost Sector here. It is gonna require probably us to do Transcendent or something like that. But are we going to care? Absolutely not. I will say the Lost Sector should showcase what our general range is. Because that is usually a concern of mine when I do certain builds. The other prismatic build that I actually legitimately use, um, it has a pretty good wide bit of range. And I'll probably use an emote up here so they all can see the fashion up here a little bit better. So y'all can see here. And of course we have our little Ardoggo here. I like to pet him here. But this is actually using great lighting. That just isn't good. Let's do this. Yeah. As you can see, it looks a little bit better in the light, but And don't forget, every so often, you should thrust. We have Outreach here, which gives us a little bit of melee energy. Very helpful. Also, it's a little strange using... Normally, I use Shackle Grenade on Titan because it has the best chance of killing a target. But, this is going to be a little bit strange. Here we are, we're going to thrust again here. Also, it gives us a little bit of extra movement. Normally, I would use Neomuna primarily, but... So, a Stasis Grenade, our little Ice Bomb. Let's use our Flame Belch. As you can see, Jolt it, pop to shield. This is weird using this. Again, we're gonna slam here this time, but as you can see, you really don't need the slam unless it's beef your target. Oh, this actually has quite a bit of range. We're gonna shoot right there. We're gonna freeze. Whew, okay. Also, as you can see, parkour. Honestly, if you're not under the same kind of, Oh, as you can see, that uppercut is just too good. Ah! We do not have Prismatic currently. As you can see, we are super close, so. Use our good old... I think it's going to be best for us to do the suspend. Oh, yes, we killed him, which is nice. Again, use that consecration against beefier targets. I don't know why I kind of went flying back there. First and last out. Showed some love. Oh, we don't need to reload because, you know, auto-loading holster is so nice. Actually, I might steal some of this for a build that I usually use. Damn. Okay. Oh, and we have our Gallahorn. Bada bang. Easy. Easy taken care of. Now, I did decide to use a rocket because, let's shoot right about there. I did choose a rocket because what do you have in Doom? You got a rocket launcher. I wanted to use an auto rifle, but unfortunately, there wasn't many that would work. Axes. Oh, as you can see, we are absolutely shredding. Bada bing, bada boom. He was the beefier target, so we got him taken care of. And we're gonna make sure to thrust here. There should be. There we are. I was saying it should be. I wanted to use an auto rifle because you have the basically an auto rifle in Doom Eternal, but there wasn't really any that were stasis that started with the letter B, unfortunately. So that's something that was quite unfortunate. But hey, we make do. We make do. We're gonna place it right about there. Oh, that's such good placement. Oh, that y'all have to admit. Y'all have to admit. My placements have been on point. All right. And you see we did get knockout there. Let's go ahead and give ourselves some good old transcendence. Again, we beefing them up. He ain't got nothing on us. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. And of course we can knock out here. It's just too good. It is just too good. It's just too good.
The sky greets you.
You're not what I expected.
Alright. So while our lovely friend the Lucent Hive here, I still want to say, Bungie, how come we still do not have a single raid with the Lucent Hive in it?
This one is called Luzaku.
They've been in the game for several years, well, for a couple of years now. Why do we not have any in the raid?
This one.
Because this one believes
But
that in each
my advice is if you do try to use this build,
given the potential
you don't need to stick to the same naming conventions as I do. I would suggest having a stasis weapon here with Pugilist and Swashbuckler in particular, and I would change your Solar Siphon to stasis as well.
Will be someone different.
I would stick this to being Solar Weapon Surge, and I would change both of these to
So
Solar.
you see each new resurrection as a new self?
But yeah,
It is more
that's my good old submission for Build of the Week. You know, let me know what y'all think of the fashion. This is my attempt at a Doomslayer.
We could talk again
No,
later?
let me know what y'all think in the comments below,
This one will
and I will
be
catch
real.
y'all on the flip side.